One, hey all, welcome to Monday, welcome to Countdown Day, and today, as voted on by fans, and of course I've amassed the votes, we have the rankings, we will be looking at the top 10 Transformers that fans would never get rid of. If you had a catastrophe, a fire, an earthquake, something like that, or you had to evacuate, or you had to sell off your collection, this is the one Transformer, the one character that you would absolutely not part with. It would be the absolute last resort. Now, granted, a lot of people said I would never part with my collection, and that's wonderful, neither would I. But there are a lot of people out there who, for various reasons, have had to, either by choice or not by choice. But these are the ones that even if you were to say, I'm getting out of collecting, selling my whole collection, you would keep this one as a representation of that time in your life. The top 10 Transformers that fans would never get rid of. That's going to be our focus in the latest GotBot Counts Down. Hey one, hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course subscribe, and while you are at it, light them up, baby. Hit that notification bell, please. Helps me out a ton, let you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that's in the description down below. Also in the description down below, and if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link, check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. We have, as I said, the top 10 Transformers fans would not get rid of. I understand, much like myself, that a lot of people feel like, hey, I'd never get rid of my collection at all. I get that, but that's not what this was. I understand that. This was, if you had to, for whatever reason, hypothetical if you wish, although for a lot of people, sadly, this is not a hypothetical situation. These are the ones, though, that fans would keep. Our honorable mentions go to G1 Megatron, largely because any reissues or redos would be so limited because of the tangliness of laws and alt modes and everything else. And some people said, hey, even way back in the 80s, Megatron wasn't an abundant release. Like, some people knew a lot of people that had him, and some people barely knew anyone that had him. I knew one person that had him. So G1 Megatron was an honorable mention, as well as RID Brave Max. I thought that was a really interesting one. Those two did not make the list. Who did? What did? You know what we're going to do? We're going to do as we always do and kick things off with number 10 first. Kicking us off at number 10, we have one of my favorites with, Fortress Maximus. Now, I will admit, I put a few votes together for the Titans Return, the Japanese Legends version, and the SDCC. I admit as well that all three of them have differences in their deco. Some come with an official version of the Master Sword, though I have a 3D printed one here, and some do not. But in essence, it's the same mold, and I understand the gripes with it, especially with the city mode. I would venture, or base mode I guess, I would venture to say, hey, explore and come up with your own approximation of the G1 version. A lot of people said that voted for this, hey, I couldn't see my way clear to get the G1 as a lad. It's just too astronomically expensive as an adult. This was the most affordable, decent version at the time. There's an argument now for the third party one up and coming that's, I think, 29 inches, being better again, but for a lot of people, this guy, this mold, will be their version of Fortress Maximus one way or another. And if everything went sideways, Fort Max, this mold, it's the one they'd keep. And it takes the number 10 slot. We started off strong with Fort Max, and coming in at number 9, we go all the way back to G1, and this. It's Power Master Optimus Prime. Funny enough, our buddy Daryl has been kind of piecing his together, and I was able to give him the shoulder blasters and at least one of the hand blasters that I had left over from mine. Mine went to someone else way back in 2008, 2009, something like that. So I haven't had my Power Master Optimus Prime, my G1 Power Master Optimus Prime in a long time. And sure, he was one big hefty chunk, but man did I love him. Especially since I broke the legs off of my G1 Optimus. And the Power Master 1 kind of became my stand-in, and it kind of became my go-to for Optimus. I loved him dearly. He was my Optimus for many, many years. I understand why fans would absolutely want to keep him above all others. Power Master Optimus Prime takes the number 9 slot. Speaking of Optimus Prime, at number 8, we stick with that theme, and this. It is the HasLab Omega Prime. People that voted for this said, look, We've wanted an update for a long time. This one takes everything that was glorious about the original and improves upon it to make it more solid. Even with the issues that were done, they were replaced and whatnot by Hasbro, so the kind of issue is fixed, I guess. That's what people are saying. I don't know. I didn't go in on this one, but for those that are RID 2001 fans, I totally understand why you would. I love the original, but even I got to admit, after reviewing it, that the combined mode of him and Magnus leaves a little something to be desired. The Optimus was splendid. The Magnus was okay, but I hear that the HasLab one is just more solid, more robust overall. I thought the original was magnificent and had design elements well beyond its time. I can only imagine how fantastic the HasLab is. It takes the number 8 slot. Number 7 is this, G1 Soundwave. Not much to say here other than he's glorious. People love him to this day. People think that he is a figure that has stood up over the test of time. He looks great. He looks like the character. He has decent articulation, chunky, hefty, with a great transformation. He even had buzzsaw. Yeah, I guess I understand. I never had that. I only had the joy of handling him for a few minutes in my life. But I understand the appeal. I understand why people are always drawn to that version of Soundwave. And he is popular enough to be kept above all others that he was able to take the number 7 slot. Number 6 goes Titanic with this. It is Siege Omega Supreme. And you know what? My Omega Supreme, I've said this before, is the Wei Jiang. And I have also reviewed the Siege. And you know what? I gotta be perfectly honest. The Siege is still fantastic. I totally understand why people would keep this. It certainly is an improvement over the G1, what with the ability to articulate, move, be solid, be hefty. Plus, it was repainted into the Guardians if you wanted to have a couple of them flanking your Omega Supreme. As an Omega Supreme in his Battle Station mode, it takes what's glorious about the Battle Station and sort of compacts it down so it feels more like an enclosed base rather than like this big track around a small base. I'll give credit where credit is due there. Not for nothing. If you have multiples, you can even connect those bases by the tracks and make yourself a huge Omega-ish base. The articulation, the look, the transformation, the solidity, all of that makes him a quintessential version of Omega Supreme for a lot of fans. And they value him above all others. They would keep him above all others enough that he was able to take the number 6 slot. And now a hush falls over the crowd because we've reached the ever coveted, ever popular halfway mark. And at the halfway mark we go to Studio Series 86. And this, Optimus Prime. Those that voted for this all pretty much said the same sort of thing. It's the perfect mainline Optimus Prime. Some people said they prefer it over the Masterpiece iterations. I guess that's a personal call. I do. But I get that some people love MP44. Some love the original MP01, 04. I don't know how those numbers worked early on. Or, of course, the ever-popular MP10. But through it all, when you balance out affordability with a representation of the character, a lot of people feel like this is the quintessential Optimus Prime. And if I had to leave, if I was losing my collection, I would absolutely keep this Optimus because he comes with really everything you could want Optimus to have. A lot of people also said, hey, he wasn't that abundant or easy to find. I would reckon to say that metric, gripe, whatever you want to call it, is probably now kind of put by the wayside a bit since we have a couple of KOs that exist. But yeah, 86 Optimus Prime takes the number 5 slot. Coming in at number 4, we go back to G1 and a character that has often appeared at number 4, but hasn't in a long time. It's kind of nice to see. Grimlock. Yeah, I mean, G1 Grimlock. People said if you were going to have one Dinobot, it's probably going to be Grimlock. And you know what? He was very solid in Dino mode, very solid in Robot mode. You had the die cast, you had a great transformation. You even had reasonable articulation, what with a knee and an arm and a cool sword. Like, a lot of people absolutely understand why Grimlock was the go-to Dinobot. Plus, he's a T-Rex. What's not to love? Even if you had to give up your other Dinobots, why would you give up the leader? Maybe you could replace the others, but Grimlock stands head and shoulders above the Dinobots and head and shoulders in many collections, and that's why Grimlock takes the number 4 slot. Now we're into the top 3, and at number 3 we have this, G1 Optimus Prime. I get it. Everybody loves G1 Optimus. Everybody values G1 Optimus, whether he's the most articulated thing or not. A lot of people say he's the greatest toy that was ever made. A lot of people will say, look, I don't have the G1. I got the G2 color, or I got the Diaclone. I think that most people would kind of agree that it's such a quintessential definition of Transformers. Such an iconic character. And that was the first one. Even if you have a reissue, it's an homage to that first one. That, yeah, a lot of people are going to value it really, really high. G1 Optimus Prime. Not much justification has to be given for this one. He takes the number 3 slot. And now at number 2, we have this Siege, Jetfire, Skyfire, whatever you want to call it. Whether you want a G1 homage of the toy with all of the armor, I guess, on it, you can have that. If you want a more cartoon accurate homage, you can have that. If you actually want an homage to the War for Cybertron trilogy that was on Netflix, you can have that. A lot of people say, look, this is about as quintessential and perfect of a Jetfire as we could want. He has had the shattered glass treatment. He's also had the, I'm going to say G1 comic, the Skybound treatment, if you will. The Siege and the Siege reissue, it's because it's just so good. It was the first Commander class. It set the benchmark, and man, did it set the benchmark high. Excellent transformation, excellent articulation, excellent look. Yeah, Siege Jetfire takes the number 2 slot. And now here we are, very tippy top, number 1. And number 1 is a grail for most people with this G1 Fort Max. We started the list with the Titans Return Fort Max. We end the list with G1 Fort Max. Fort Max bookends. And I'm sure that the people that voted for this... Okay, so there were a lot of reasons given here. 1, the size, the height, the difficulty of getting it. 2, the aftermarket price. 3, the reissues, also with the aftermarket price. 4, all of the gimmicks and features. 5, the articulation for the time. 6, the heft and solidity has never been duplicated, really. Certainly nothing mainline. Yeah, G1 Fort Max. He was the first gigantic Transformer, and everybody looked at it with stars in their eyes, and those that have him know how special he is. And that's why he takes the number 1 slot. And there you have it, 10 down to 1 once again. Other ones that had votes included the Human Alliance Bumblebee, the X9 Beast Machines Ravage, Beast Wars Ravage. I'm not really sure what that is. I don't know what the X9 is. Let's see, G1 Mirage, G1 Rodimus, Kingdom Rodimus, Armada Scavenger, Armada Cyclonus, Crumple Zone, Classics Optimus Prime, 86 Devastator, Thrilling 30 Metroplex. By the way, Metroplex would be the one that I would keep. I've said that many times before. A lot of people said that they found this is an impossible question. I was like, really? I'm surprised, because for 11 years, 10 years really, I've said Metroplex, always going to be Metroplex. G1 Grimlock, Combiner War Cyclonus, I thought that was an interesting one. Armada Unicron, HasLab Unicron, HasLab, Deathsaurus, Studio Series 38, Optimus Prime, 86 Ultra Magnus, G1 Devastator, the Titan Arc, Earthrise Double Dealer, Beast Wars Clawjaw, Universe Blast Charge, MPG, God Ginrai, Super Ginrai, whatever it is. I think you can make it God Ginrai because I think they've done God Bomber. Animated Blur, Armor Knight Optimus Prime. A couple of people who voted for that actually had their copies signed by Peter Cullen. Let's see, Cosmos, G1 Cosmos I should say. Classic Starscream, MP Soundwave, G1 Soundwave, Siege Soundwave. G1 Thrust, G1 Jetfire, G1 Prowl, Titans Return RC. Who else can we kind of throw in here for fun? Planet X's Vulcan, their version of Grimlock. RID Rail Racer, that's a good one. That's a good one. G1 Black Zarek, G1 Blitzwing, and I love this one, Transformers Prime Abominus, made up of just little Legion class. Them and so many more that fans value for a variety of reasons. I'd love to know if your favorites made the list. I was really hoping Metroplex would. He certainly did not, though. I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. While you are at it, hit the subscribe subscribe button. Stick around and have some fun with us here on the channel. And don't forget, man, not for a moment, not for a second, that you right there, you do make a difference in the world. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights, at the stop motion premieres, or the old fashioned way right here inside the videos.